Alright, so everybody's been asking, and so this is why I'm making the video. This is going to be the install video for the F1 brake light on the 2015 Plus WRX and STI. It's a very simple process. Only the hard part is going to be wiring, and even that, can be pretty easy. So with that, I have a 2017 WRX behind us right now, and we'll show you guys how we're going to install that brake light.
First thing you want to do is you're going to have to undo these 4 clips underneath the bumper. That's going to give you access to this little area where the brake light is going to go, and then you're going to end up popping that out. So to start, let's go ahead and remove those 4 clips with a flathead screwdriver. Those clips taken off. Some people take off the whole bumper. That's a lot of work. You can just pull this back a little bit, and there's going to be a couple tabs right on top. You just want to pull them down, and sometimes some are more stubborn than others. So you're just going to pull down and push out. Once you have that out, you're going to want to take out this liner right here. It only has 3 clips on it, so same thing, flathead screwdriver. Just go ahead, pop these clips out. Once those clips are out, you're literally just going to pull right up on this and it comes undone. Sounds like you're breaking it, but you're not, so don't trip about it. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do, this is going to give you access to the wires in your brake light. You're going to take out the 6 bolt clips on your trunk liner. So there's going to be 1 down here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you take all those clips out, this liner is going to be very simple to remove. And you can just get away with taking off these front 3. It's just going to make it a little bit more difficult in the long run. So I prefer to just remove the whole thing. First thing to installing the light, you want to grab this little bracket here and not drop it like I did. And you're just going to squeeze that in. And right where these 2 holes are, you're going to want to put the bracket inside and tuck these little clips right there underneath. I'm going to grab the F1 light and feed the wiring through, and then it's going to fit nice and snug up against that bracket. It's very important. You don't want to put in the clips that are going to hold the brace until you actually connect the F1 light, because otherwise you won't be able to fit the light in once these brackets are sticking in. If one light is in, you're going to want to grab the 2 screws that come with it, feed it through the holes, and start to thread them through into that brake light. This is going to be what's holding your light from falling out, so make sure you get these right. There's going to be 1 right here on the bottom and 1 at the top. Right, so once you have those screws in, you're going to want to put these clips through the stock holes in the bumper into the mounting bracket. It may take a little bit of wiggling around to line it up, but once you get it, go ahead and push it in. And these clips, if you mess this up or you do something out of order, they're not really the type where you can pull them out. You're just gonna have to break them. So make sure you get the F1 light in there first. Don't install just the bracket and then try and squeeze that F1 light in there, because the way it sticks through, you won't be able to push it all the way in, and you'll have to break one of these. So make sure you do the light first. So once you have the light installed, it's time to do the funnest part and do the wiring. This is where some people will argue it's easier to take the bumper off. I still think that's dumb. So what you're going to want to do is, I already popped it out, but there's going to be a little rubber tab
thing, whatever, right there. You're just gonna want to either, you could just pop that out, or you could do what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it out, drill a hole through it, and feed the wires through. It's gonna give it a much cleaner look, even though you're not gonna see it. It's just gonna look a lot better to do it this way. But yeah, so you're gonna pop this out, and if you have one of these, it's gonna make life a whole lot easier. You're just gonna feed that through and to the bottom. Once it's down there, you're literally just gonna open up those little jaws, put that wire in, and pull it out. If you don't have one of these little grabbers, I mean, one, you can pick them up for like, I don't know, $5, if that. If not, you can literally grab any type of flexible, you can grab a stick, and just tie the wires on once it's down there, and then just pull it up, and that'll make life a little easier. So once you have these wires through, we went ahead and drilled a hole in the little rubber stopper. You can just, you know, forget that and just run the wires like this, but I like to have it be kind of neat and clean, and, you know, just whatever. So you're just gonna feed the wires through here, make sure they're going in on this side, out on this side, so that when you pop it in, it's the right direction. So completely up to you if you just want to pop that out, but personally, if you drill the hole, I feel like it looks a lot cleaner, and it still has that seal that comes from the factory that they put on there. So once you do that, it is now time to do your wiring. So on the wiring stage, there's going to be two different ways to wire this in. The first way is going to be your brake light is going to stay on as long as those running lights are on, which is anytime the car is on, basically. And then anytime you hit the brake, it's going to give you that F1 flash, and then stay solid. Personally, that's not the way I like it, but you can do it any way you want. I'll show you how to do both. If you do want it that first way, first thing you're going to want to do for either one of the wiring is just get this black wire, and you're just going to get it to any one of these bolts here. Just find a ground, and you just want to, you know, give it a ground. Without the ground, it's not going to work. And then you're going to grab this green wire. This is going to be going to your running light positive, which is going to be the brown, or actually the black wire with the white stripe on your stock harness. And then you're going to get your red wire and attach it to your brown light, which is your brake light on your stock harness. So it comes with these stock taps, but these wires are kind of thin, so I like to kind of cut off the insulation around them, exposing the wire. If you choose to do that, you just want to make sure you're not actually cutting the metal wiring on the inside. You're just cutting the rubber piece to give you a little bit of exposure, you know, like this. It gives you a little bit of wire you could tap into, because you want to make sure you're not actually cutting it, because that wire still has to give power to your actual brake light. You're just going to be tapping in to draw some of that power to the third brake light. So this is going to be the first way that the brake light's going to be wired. Gotta turn running lights on. There you go. So when the lights are when just the running lights are on, it's gonna stay solid, and then every time you hit the brake, it will flash and then go solid. Do it just how I said earlier. You're gonna have your green wire to your black wire with the white stripe, and your red wire to your brown wire, and then obviously get that ground onto one of your bolts. It's actually gonna be a second way. If you don't want that F1 light blinking, and you just want the light to come on when you hit your brake, you're just gonna wire the green wire to your brown wire, and you're just gonna leave this red wire disconnected. And if you want your light to flash when you hit the brake and then stay solid, it's gonna be the same setup. You will just then wire the red wire and the green wire to this brown wire on your stock harness. So if you do it that setup, it's gonna give you that F1 blinking when you hit your brake, and then stay solid. So whichever way you decide to go ahead and wire it up, whether you like it to stay on with your running lights and flash when you brake, or just come on solid when you brake, or have that F1 flashing and then stay solid every time you brake. When you wire it in, I like to, since these wires are pretty thin for these taps right here, I like to actually cut, as I said, the insulation a little bit off the wire, kind of twist them together, and then I put this clip on there just to hold that and keep it from coming undone. You don't have to do that. You could just wrap it with some electrical tape, but these are going to come with your F1 light if you do go ahead and get that F1 brake light made by IJDM Toy on Amazon. So might as well use those. You got them. Once you have your wiring done, you're going to want to just clean it up. Just go ahead, zip tie, and then I like to wrap it up with a little bit of electrical tape. Just give it that nice, clean, factory look to it. If you don't want to do that, you just want to leave it like this, tuck it away, completely up to you. So if you choose to clean it up, you can see if you wrap it with electrical tape, zip tie it up, you can make it look very clean and neat. I prefer this, even though you're not going to see it. It's just much cleaner, less likely something's going to get snagged or something's going to come loose, and then you're going to have to take this all apart and redo it. So I would, I'd recommend, if you can drill a hole, get that rubber stopper in there, and then go ahead, wrap it, make it clean. When you're putting this back in, you're going to see this, you're going to want to put one of those clips in there. This is going to be one of the 3 clips that goes on this top piece that you're going to put in after. So once you put this in, sometimes this lining's not going to be perfect, so just use your thumb and kind of tuck it in, make it neat. Like the factory. Don't make your stuff look dumb and ghetto. Either way, so yeah, tuck that in, and then you're gonna get your piece here and literally just line it up, and you're just gonna push in. Then once you have this in, same thing with the rubber. Just just use your finger, kind of pull it through. That way you can get that seal back on top, so it looks nice, neat, and professional. If you're gonna do this, do it right. I like to always say so. Then you're just gonna grab these 3 tabs and put them back in where they belong. Then once you're all done, everything's wrapped up, and you don't have to use your F1 light or get access to it anymore, go ahead, put these clips back in your bumper. It's going to be the 4 ones on the bottom, and you are going to be all set. So that's going to be how you're going to install that F1 brake light made by IJDM Toy, available on my Amazon link. As always, if you have any questions or you need help installing it and you don't know what to do on your next step, go ahead, go into the comments, send me a DM, and I'll try and help you out. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy your F1 brake light, however you guys decide to wire it up.